You know, I thought 2025 was truly one of the craziest years in history for high school sprinters. We saw more sub-10 clockings than any other year before. We had a few high schoolers actually taking down the professionals at a few key meetings during the year. And even at the U.S. National Champs in Eugene, Oregon, we saw one high schooler not only make it to the final of the men's 100 meters, but he finished in 5th place overall, as Maurice Gleaton ran a 9.92 in one of the most competitive men's 100s that the U.S. has ever seen. I really thought that 2025 was a year that may never be challenged when it comes to prep sprinting. But I was wrong. In fact, I was very wrong. Because in just the first few weeks of this 2026 season, we have already seen sprinting history achieved from a few key high schoolers, with one performance in particular literally challenging the fastest athletes to ever compete in this event. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of the term trackflation, let me fill you in. This newly minted verbiage refers to the fact that younger athletes are only getting faster and faster as the years go on, and compared to the more experienced runners in track, the gap is shrinking between these two classes. Yes, the 100 meters is likely one of the biggest sources where trackflation is starting to get out of control, but whether it be the 400 meters with Quincy Wilson, the mile with Sam Ruth, or the 800 meters with Cooper Lutkenhouse, trackflation is undoubtedly something that is starting to become more and more prevalent in our sport. But when it comes to the 100 meters specifically, one of the primary culprits behind this massive surge in speed is none other than the senior from Texas, Tate Taylor. Now, Taylor has been on quite the push towards sprinting greatness over the past 12 months. He ran a 20.14 time in the 200 meters at the 2025 Texas State Meet. He qualified for the U.S. Champs as a junior in the 100, and he also ran a 9.92 second clocking as a junior at the Texas State Meet in the men's 100, breaking the national record, and he did this with legal wind. Taylor has a very unique blend of size, starting abilities, and especially sprinting endurance. And in 2026, this talent appears to be on yet another level of speed. At the 2026 Miramar Invitational, we had many of the best sprinters on the planet lining up for their 2026 season debuts. We saw Kenny Bednarek, there was Akeem Blake, Kishane Thompson was present, and also Tia Clayton was making an appearance. But lining up with all of these pros was the high schooler Tate Taylor, and in the men's 100, he actually finished in 2nd place, achieving a time of 9.95 seconds with a slightly illegal tailwind, but he still went on to take down a few key professionals, including Rohan Watson, Ronnie Baker, and Rasheed Foster. This performance from Taylor was yet another sub-10 clocking to his name, making this ultra-rare sub-10 performance from a prep athlete rather common for Taylor at this point. But it wasn't even what he did in the 100 that shocked the world. Because if we go over to the 4x1, this is where he did something that really left people speechless. In this men's 4x100, we had a very unique lineup of sprinters competing. We had 2 Dominican Republic teams, we had Team Jamaica, we had 2 professional teams from the United States featuring various Olympians and World Championship qualifiers, and we also had a Texas high school all-star team featuring 4 of the greatest sprinters in the nation right now. And crucially, going into the anchor leg in this 4x1, Tate Taylor was set to get the baton. And even though he was competing against Brandon Hicklin in lane 4 and Courtney Lindsay on his inside, who literally qualified for the World Championships last year with a time of 9.82 at the US Trials, Tate Taylor was not intimidated in the slightest, because going into this anchor leg, Taylor got the baton with about 4 to 5 meters to make up on both Courtney Lindsay and Brandon Hicklin on his inside. But by the time they all reached the finish line, Tate Taylor was agonizingly close to reaching the tape first, meaning that he made up significant ground on 2 of the best professional sprinters in the United States right now. With a finishing time of 38.52 seconds from Star Athletics, 38.53 seconds from the United States B team, and a 38.56 second clocking from this Texas high school all-star squad, this result was absolutely shocking, not just because they almost caught these pros, but because this time was almost half a second faster than the current high school national record from Atascocita, who ran a time of 38.92 in 2024. But to focus more on what really made this 4x100 time shine, we need to take a closer look at Tate Taylor. Because after this race was published, the quest to find the best approximation of Taylor's anchor leg performance really began. I mean, if he made up this much time on Courtney Lindsay, then it would have to be some crazy time for this anchor split. And only adding to the excitement of how fast he actually ran here was the fact that if we go back to 2024, Lindsay ran in the 4x100 relay of the Olympics in the qualification round, and for his anchor leg, he dropped a time of 8.88, a ridiculous time for an anchor leg split, and yet Tate Taylor had run much faster than him at this year's Miramar Invite. Clearly, this anchor leg from Taylor was likely another sub-9 clocking, and after a few hours of looking at the numbers and calculating to the closest real time that he ran, we found out that Tate Taylor's anchor leg split was around 8.76 to 8.80 seconds, which is genuinely an unbelievable anchor leg. In the history of the 4x100, there have only been 8 documented performances on the anchor leg where an athlete ran under 8.8 seconds. And given that most analysts put Taylor in the 8.7 high range, this places Taylor in a truly ridiculous club of historically fast sprinters. The only athletes that have ever run this kind of time are either the GOAT himself, Usain Bolt, there was Asafa Powell, there was Noah Lyles in the 2019 World Champs, there was Akani Simbine from the 2024 Olympics, and there was Zarnell Hughes, who ran a sub 8.8 in the 2024 Olympics as well. The fact that Tate Taylor has now joined this list of insanely fast sprinters as a high schooler almost shouldn't be possible, but when you look at how Tate Taylor runs, it actually begins to make more and more sense. As one of the taller athletes currently competing in the high school ranks, Taylor has truly elite top speed, and when he gets into his top gears, there is really nobody that can get close to his top speed abilities. And given that this 4x100 has a rolling start compared to the open 100 that requires a block start, this allows for Taylor to get to his higher speeds quicker, and it also apparently allows for him to compete and also run faster than the pros. Also, given that Taylor is one of the fastest 200 athletes in high school history, really allows for his strength to shine through, and it is just insane at how perfect of a fit he really is for the anchor leg in the 4x1. If Taylor can find any kind of improvements with his start, then breaking 10 seconds with legal wins in the 100 is going to be a walk in the park. And he's already proven that he can break 10 with wins just outside the allowable limit, as he ran this 995 with a positive 2.2. But as the year goes on, it will be incredibly exciting to see what this young man can do in both the 100 and in the 200. Now I would love to hear from all of you. What do you think this 8.7 to 8.8 really means for Tate Taylor in 2026? Is he destined to go under 20 for the 200? Do you think he'll go under 10 seconds with legal win in the 100 again? And do you think that he will break his own national record of 9.92 and potentially break 9.9 this year? Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time.